What is up, guys? So you probably already saw the news regarding Arrow, and that is, it is officially being canceled. It is ending after its 8th and final season. The word on the street of the news is that Arrow Season 8 will debut when the normal Arrow seasons debut, which is mid-October in the fall. That hasn't been confirmed, but I'm guessing that is when it will air. It was only confirmed that it will air in the fall, but anyway, that doesn't really matter. But what's different about this season is obviously it's going to be the last season, but also it will only be 10 episodes as opposed to the 23 episodes Arrow normally has for the first 6 seasons, while Season 7 will only have 22, but Arrow Season 8 will only have 10 episodes, very similar to how Gotham recently was canceled in its 5th season and ending with half the episodes that it usually has. Arrow will be doing the same thing. Now, I did kind of predict this like a week ago when I talked about rumors in a video that Arrow, the Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow will all be ending after their next confirmed seasons, and it turns out for Arrow that was true. Now, the reason Arrow is being canceled is probably a little bit because of the ratings. If you don't know, the CW has much lower ratings than a lot of the other TV networks, and although Arrow does have pretty low ratings, the ratings aren't that low for the CW, but they are pretty low, and it makes sense that the CW would be canceling Arrow after 8 seasons because the ratings are currently not great. But that being said, the ratings for Supergirl are only a little bit better, and the ratings for Legends of Tomorrow are actually way worse. So the fact that they canceled Arrow and not those two at this point definitely says something, and the reason for that is because they didn't actually cancel Arrow purely because of the ratings. I'm sure it probably was a factor. Maybe because of the ratings, they just decided they couldn't do anything after this point. But the reason they're canceling Arrow has everything to do with what Stephen Amell said in a Facebook video that he posted today or yesterday, whatever. In this Facebook video, Stephen Amell thanked all of the fans as well as all of the people working on the show, like the cast and crew and everybody who supported the show back at the CW and at DC and Warner Brothers, and it was a very heartfelt video, and it was a great message for the ending of the show. But he also explained why he wants to leave the show and why the show is being ended. He thought that he could leave the show, but also it can continue after him, as other people can play the Green Arrow or other people can be the main character on the show. And he said that also it seems like the CW thought that if Stephen Amell's leaving, they might as well cancel the show, and I definitely agree with that. I don't think the show would be anything without Stephen Amell. Honestly, the show would have been pretty bad without Stephen Amell as the actor as well as Oliver Queen as a character, because most of the time when he's not on screen, the show is a lot worse than when he is on screen, and when he is the focus of any episode or any season, it's a lot better than if he isn't. And honestly, if he left the show and let's say Emiko Queen took over as the actual Green Arrow, or even Roy Harper took over, I don't think it would be anywhere near as good, and I don't think it would really mean anything if they continued it after that point. So if Stephen Amell was going to leave, which it seems like he was, because he wanted to move on from the show, mainly because he mentioned that he doesn't want to go to Vancouver anymore because his family lives in LA, and I definitely can respect that. And the fact that he wants to leave the show after this long, I definitely understand why. So the fact that was the main reason why Arrow is being ended, not because of ratings, but because the main character, the main actor, wanted to leave the show, and it didn't seem like the CW and Warner Brothers and DC wanted to continue the show without him, which is something that I definitely agree with. Now, whether or not I am sad about this cancellation, I don't think I am, and the reason for that is because I was kind of mentally prepared for the cancellation of Arrow. I mean, just a week ago, like I said, I made a video about the rumors that Arrow and also Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow will be canceled after its next confirmed seasons, and as for Arrow, it's already confirmed that that is true. As for Legends of Tomorrow, which actually has lower ratings than Arrow, or Supergirl, that only has slightly higher ratings than Arrow, most of the time they're really even in their ratings. Nothing has been confirmed, and I don't think either of them will be canceled. I'm not really sure, but just the fact that Arrow was canceled because of non-ratings reasons, or maybe there was only part of the reason, it's not really certain whether or not Legend of Tomorrow, which has lower ratings, or Supergirl, which has equal ratings or a little bit higher, will be canceled after the next confirmed seasons. But I was definitely mentally prepared for all of those shows to be canceled. To be honest with you, I have been mentally prepared for Arrow to end ever since Season 5 ended. When Season 6 was going on, I wasn't certain it would get a Season 7. When Season 7 was was going on. I wasn't certain it would get a season 8 until Crisis on Infinite Earths was confirmed, and then I thought he has to stick around for then. And I honestly think that the reason they're keeping Arrow another season is basically because of Crisis on Infinite Earths. If you look at the episode count, it's getting 10 episodes, and if it's the same as this season, Crisis on Infinite Earths will either be episode 9, or if the same as any other season in the Arrowverse, it will be episode 8. So there will be 1 or 2 episodes after that to tie up loose ends, and I definitely think that that is probably the reason they wanted to keep Arrow for another season, just for Crisis on Infinite Earths. So I was definitely mentally prepared for Arrow to end for a while now, so that's probably the reason why this cancellation, 1, doesn't surprise me, and 2, doesn't sadden me either. On top of that, it's not exactly a tragic ending for a TV show. It's not exactly a tragic cancellation for a TV show like Daredevil, let's say. Only had 3 seasons, and it was canceled, and the 3rd season ended on a cliffhanger. Arrow Season 8 will definitely end in a very satisfying way, or at least satisfying in an ending sort of way. It will not have a cliffhanger because they're preparing for the end, and it had 8 seasons, like 8 full or 7 full seasons, as well as an 8, which is a half a season. Really, that is a lot of seasons for any TV show, really. Not many TV shows get this many seasons, so it's not exactly a tragic ending to a great TV show, and on top of that, it's not exactly a great TV show. Arrow, when it's good, is my favorite TV show. Like, when Season 5 was going on, it was my favorite TV show, and nothing really came close. But ever since Season 5 ended, Season 6 has been good and bad. Season 7 has been really good, but also pretty decent, but not great at this point. And although I kind of based a whole channel around Arrow, as well as the rest of the Arrowverse, but I haven't really loved Arrow since Season 5 ended, or Season 5 in general was the last season so far that I have really, really loved. The prison storyline in Season 7 definitely was great, but it was only 7 episodes, and it was only one storyline in those episodes, and it was also not exactly an entire season. I think that I haven't really loved Arrow since Season 5, and that was a pretty long time ago, and by the time it's over, there will be 3 seasons that are probably the seasons that I don't exactly love, so I'm not sad about this cancellation. I was mentally prepared for this cancellation. I was definitely expecting this cancellation, or this coming to an end, that is happening next season, and I really think 8 seasons is a great run for any TV show. And not only that, Arrow spanned off to a lot of TV shows like The Flash, Legend of Tomorrow, coming up as Batwoman, as well as like Vixen, Freighters the Ray, as well as a bunch of other TV shows that entered the universe like Constantine, The Flash from 1990, and obviously Supergirl, which didn't really spin off from Arrow, but definitely was something that was probably like okayed because of something as successful as Arrow, or maybe Smallville. It doesn't really matter. Arrow had a great run, and it created a pretty expansive TV universe that definitely will live on after it has ended. Like, there's The Flash, which I have no doubt will continue after Arrow has ended. There's Batwoman, which definitely will continue after that, because it's only going to be in its 2nd season after next season. There's also probably going to be other TV shows, other new TV shows added to the CW that are a part of the Arrowverse. There's Supergirl and Legend of Tomorrow, which might get another season after next season. The Arrowverse, although it is named after Arrow, will live on after it has ended, and just since Arrow is the oldest TV show in the Arrowverse, it definitely makes sense that it will be canceled first, and it has been. Despite the fact that I'm not actually sad or surprised or disheartened by the fact that Arrow is coming to an end, there's no denying that it has had a big part on the last couple years of my life. I have a whole YouTube channel that I would not have made if it was not for Arrow. I made the channel right after Arrow Season 5 ended, and there has been no season of the Arrowverse that I loved as much as Arrow Season 5, and I think Arrow Season 5 was the main reason I made a whole YouTube channel about the Arrowverse. Not because of that season, like particularly, it's not the season that started the channel, but I don't think I would have loved the Arrowverse if it wasn't for that one season, and that is a season of the show that I am talking about now, which is Arrow, and that started my channel on YouTube. So obviously Arrow has a huge impact on my life right now, and I am definitely very grateful for that. And I do love the show. I have loved the show before. Currently, in its current seasons and in the really last 2 seasons, I honestly haven't, but there are some seasons of the show that I really think are incredible, like obviously Season 1, 2, and 5, and just the fact that after next season, or not after next year, after this December, there won't be any possibilities for any seasons coming out of Arrow ever in the future, or that could be that good. It definitely is a little bit bit sad, and just because of that, I am a little bit saddened by the fact that this is being canceled, but I think in general it is for the best. Arrow had a great run, and it is time for it to come to an end. I'll tell you one thing though, I am definitely excited at the prospect that I will never have to watch Felicity and Olicity ever again, and I really hope that that stays true, and I really hope that Felicity never appears in future crossovers like maybe Oliver will if he doesn't die in Crisis on Infinite Earths, which he probably will, but I am very excited at the prospect of never having to watch that ever again.